Wow, we did it. It's March, in theory, possibly April, but it's March, guys.
Maybe it's June.
It's definitely March for us.
Yeah.
In fact, one could say it's the Ides of March for us.
There it is.
Well, that unmistakable musical cue means we must all get into the Untitled Beatles podcast vehicle and slate for March Madness. 9th Beatle Bracket. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Untitled Beatles podcast.
Tony, your Bob Costas-like ability to put a teaser together is
Thank you.
Unmatched.
The segue.
And you improvise. Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, I know we were all kind of reared on Bill O'Reilly. You did it live.
Sure. I did it live. Costas did it on tape. And by the way, it's Costas.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Costas.
Bob, this is our economics correspondent, Antonio Mendoza.
Oh, hi, Antonio Mendoza. Well, nice
Antonio.
to meet you.
Bob Costas. Nice to see you.
Welcome to the Untitled Beatles podcast. Hey, we're all here, man. I'm Tony.
I'm Casey.
And I'm TJ.
See
and
how I
what
did that?
Beatle-
It's like
I
two
like you
out.
because I usually hold it for you.
Yep.
Hey, what Beatle things were you guys doing in the 90s? That's the new meme. I was buying Hope of Deliverance on Kasingle, trying to convince my roommate and friend Chris that it was on the same rock par as Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah, to you it was, TJ.
It really was, as was the B-side, Long Leather Coat.
Oh, you know, I gotta get one of those. It's nippy out. We just suffered an ice storm here in Chicago. What's it like in Minneapolis, KC?
Oh, we just had a blizzard.
Bro,
Yeah.
welcome back.
In
Welcome
March.
back.
I thought, I was like, we made it through our first winter back. This is great. We had a couple of 50-degree days. And then smack in the face, blizzard warning, 12 inches overnight.
Yeah.
There's possibility of snow through April, man. FYI.
Oh, I know.
I know.
I went to a Cubs game in the early 2000s that got snowed out. It might have been opening day. All I remember is getting very drunk at Murphy's by about 1:24 when the game was
It
called.
wasn't much different from a Cubs game in April.
Right. Except the only snow at a normal 80s Cub game is the cocaine and the bleachers. Right,
Thank
bleacher
you.
bums?
Yeah.
Take it, Mantegna.
Why don't you go find yourself a seat in the left field bleachers? They got nice seats over there.
I've been sitting here for over an hour.
Yeah, I know you've been sitting there for an hour, but you see, that's my lucky seat. And if you sit in it, the Cubs are going to lose.
Well, guys, I can't believe it. We're here. It's March, as stated, possibly April. But it is the time where we crown the next Beatle in succession of importance. We've crowned the 5th Beatle, the 6th Beatle, the 7th Beatle, the 8th Beatle.
Who were those Beatles, producer Casey? Who was 5, 6, 7, 8?
Let's recap. I believe I remember this, even though I failed to save any of our filled out brackets, so I'd have to re-listen to the episodes to actually know for sure. But hear me out. I think 5 was a unanimous George Martin.
Correct.
Yes, gotta be. He's the unquestionable 5th Beatle.
I believe 6 was our runner-up for 5, Brian Epstein.
Yes.
And then I believe 7, we went all musicians bracket, where we wanted, because we thought it was a little weird to add 2 Beatles who weren't strictly musicians.
You know who we'd forgotten?
We've forgotten Billy Preston.
Billy Preston.
That's right. But he snuck in at 7. 8th Beatle, I believe we had a field of all women, because also it felt pretty heinous to come up with, that many Beatles with having no women in the mix.
We had, just so you know, not just women, we had some electronics girls.
That's right.
Hello, I'm Alexis from Apple Electronics. I would like to say hello to all my brothers around the world, and to all the girls around the world, and to all the electronic people around the world.
I believe we crowned Yoko Ono finally got her roses and joined the band formally. Welcome, Yoko, at long last. And this year we gather to crown a 9th.
The 9th Beatle bracket, Tony, in this category's different. It ain't about birds. It ain't about limp-wristed music people that I wish I was. What's it about, Tony?
It's about the Windy City, the city of broad shoulders, the city that works. It's about Chicago. So, yes, TJ, we are satisfying this. We are doing a ninth Beatle, and it's going to be someone that is Chicago-based. Because, TJ, Chicago is the Liverpool of North America.
Yes, it is. Put it on the sign at O'Hare, Brandon Johnston.
Technically, I believe we discovered there was a small town called Liverpool in northwest Indiana, just outside the city.
Yes.
No longer a municipality, as I understand it, but there once was a Liverpool, Indiana. I believe in or around Gary. I got to look it up again.
It's near there, yeah. But Liverpool, Indiana is the Slough of North America.
And Slough is where the original British office took place, right?
Yes, it's a suburb of London. Yes, thank you. I've been there. I've been to Slough.
Really?
So you're saying Slough is the Scranton of the United Kingdom?
We're going to crown our ninth Beatle, everyone, and we had a lot of help from our crack research team, the organizing committee this year, headed by our very own Glennie the K.
Couldn't have done this one without Glennie the K. I think he took more fun doing the research than we are having recording the episode. He had a ball doing this, I think.
He went deep.
He went very deep. Yeah. And I do want to acknowledge Glenn's work. And the committee whittled it down from like over 30 names. We've got a tight 16, I believe. And we decided to keep it in Chicago. So we didn't go down to downstate. So there's not going to be any Louise Harrison.
How's she going to sell more of the Beatle and Benton DVD? Ours.
That's right, because they are burnt on a DVD burner.
You, George, are the only Beatle who had been in America before this trip. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Went to visit your sister a few months ago.
Yeah, September.
No capital Jacksonville to be stormed?
No, unfortunately. Nor will the Four Vests also did not make it. That is the band that George Harrison jammed with when he was in Benton, Illinois. So we kept it very local. We got 16 names, but I tell you what, guys, before we get to the 16 names, I think we also have some names of our own that we'd like to shout out here on the Untitled Beatles podcast.
That's right. I can think of about 48 other Beatles we should name before we name the ninth Beatle.
Did you say name or maim?
It's hard to tell. We're on Riverside.fm. The sound is terrible.
But the service is free.
No, we pay for this shit, bro.
What? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Well, we don't pay for it. Our fine friends of our Patreon Star Club pay for it. And we have to thank them for it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, that's right. Like and subscribe, write a fab review, and join our Patreon if you so feel it. There's a few brackets, and the highest bracket is the Star Club, and we'd like to thank you all personally right now.
Come on. Feel it.
Feel the vibration.
Long live George Harrison in Australia.
Ellen the K.
Matt Kuharski.
DZ Keys, a.k.a. Beatle Dave.
Susan from Baltimore.
Chicago's own Bert Chide.
Joanne S.
David S. No relation. From Chicago.
Our good friend Max Como in Montreal.
Matt Meyer from Spring Hill, Tennessee.
Spring Hill Ford. Mick B. from Minnesota. We love you, Minnesota.
Minnesota in the house. Nowhere. Doug Tabor.
Steven A.
Mary Kate.
Skyler.
Mr. D. Sticker.
Michael S.
Yowza. Minneapolis strong one more time. My friend Kat V. God bless Minneapolis. Glad to be here. Glad to have you with us.
God bless Portland. How about that? Anthony P.
Hey.
Represent.
God bless wherever you are, Terrence D.
Wish we knew. Dave B.
Hey, Mark Florino in Chicago, our friend. Hi, Mark.
Steve L. from a little town in Indiana. Go Bears!
Robbie 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Russell B.
Terry B. from Appleton, Wisconsin.
Stephanie B. from Chicago.
Jim and Dane, your freezer on.
G Spice and Mimsy Forever.
Chuck M. And I know that's Chuck Mangione. Thank you, Chuck. Life. What's that called? Feeling good. Feel so good. Life is good.
Dan I.
JFM.
Vinny P. Vinny P. Sugar Plum Fairy.
I finally get the reference. I saw Anthology. John R.
Yo, Adrian M. of Kensington, Brooklyn.
Barry, South Carolina.
I was going to try and do a Danish accent here,
Good
but
luck.
I dare not. It's Gunnar in Denmark.
Here's my DC accent. Christian in DC.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
Steve, my kitten alone.
Amanda.
Rockin' Robin from Chicago. Hey, Rockin' Robin.
Mandy Dubs from Star Clubs.
Adam A. in Australia.
All right, guys. Now we have 3 new people that have just joined our Star Club. Let's welcome them with open arms. Welcome, Ozzy Osmond.
Hey.
Hi, Ozzy.
Jason Roy, oh Roy, yeah, 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 yeah.
And last, but certainly not least, Alejandra O'Leary. She's wonderful. She's a musician. You can find her music on Spotify.
But I only came here for your body.
Check her out, Alejandra O'Leary. Thank you for joining the Star Club.
Star Club, Patreon, people. Couldn't do it without you.
All right, folks, we know you like these longer episodes, so we'll see you next week on the Untitled Beatles podcast.
Good night.
Untitled Beatles podcast. Like and subscribe.
Okay, guys, it is time for the big dance. And because we're in Chicago, that means we're going to be doing some Chicago stepping.
It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in.
Maybe the cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out.
Maybe some footwork, or for you oldsters, the polka hop. They're all dances invented in Chicago.
Oh. The Cha-Cha Slide is Chicago?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway, come to my stepping classes. People aren't showing up online to my Zoom. I do the slide and the electric slide and stepping. Show up. Quit. And quit with the bouncing checks. All right, let's do this, guys.
Let's do this.
Producer Casey, how should we go about this?
Here's what I'm thinking. Let's just dive straight into the matchups rather than list everybody out. You're going to hear these names 100 times.
True.
If you'd like to play along and see the 16 seeds that floated to the top, again, thank you, Glennie the K and the selection committee. If you'd like to play along, you can download your own bracket. Go to untitledbeatlespodcast.com/bracket. You will find downloadable versions of today's bracket. We also have the 8th Beatle bracket, the 7th and 6th and 5th Beatle brackets. In case you didn't listen to those, you can go back, even though we did spoil them earlier this episode. But yeah, if you want to play along, do that. Otherwise, let's just dive into our first matchup.
Wow. This is going to be a crazy matchup.
I mean, even the rules just there were exciting.
Oh, actually, I forgot the rules. So the way the rules work is we'll go through pair by pair, and Tony and TJ will each select their champion. If there is a tie or a discrepancy in your selection, I shall serve the role as tiebreaker.
Love it.
Hey, Chat GPT, who's producer Casey sided with more in the history of the Untitled Beatles podcast bracket?
I'm sorry, but there's no way you numbskulls paid me enough to figure that out.
There's no way to determine that.
I'm pretty sure it's... What do you mean? There is a way to listen to all the episodes, and I might do it. I'm pretty sure it's even. I'm going to guess it's even.
Yeah.
Cop out. Fair and balanced, my ass.
All right, well, it's already off to a controversial start, but here we go. Our first matchup, number 1 seeded Dick Biondi against the 16th seed Rose Records.
Dick Biondi versus a record shop.
Not just a record shop, the most significant chain in Chicago record store history, my friend.
Yes.
Rose Records, Chicago's original music stores.
Sheep on drugs.
It's the Sheep on Drugs greatest hits. Sale price at $10.99 CD. Featuring Motorbike, Track X, and her latest release, 15 Minutes of Fame.
Dream on.
It's the Sheep on Drugs greatest hits. Sale price at Rose Records for only $10.99 CD. And catch Sheep on Drugs live on stage at the China Club, September 24th.
Rose Records, Chicago's original music stores.
That's true, TJ. You know, in the 1960s, when, you know, the Beatles were making fresh records, most people bought them from places like Sears, Goldblatt's, Star Sales on Cicero, sometimes even the accordion shop, Del Principe Music. But Rose Records was there in the heart of the Loop, down there on Wabash, founded by Aaron Rose Bloom. What a name. Aaron Rose Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
1931 it was started. It was originally Rose Radio, and then, you know, record sales became happening, and they did that. 214 South Wabash. I was in that building many times, man. I imagine you were, TJ.
Not as much as you'd think, because the Rose Records I used to go to all the time, the first half of my life, was the Gold Coast one at State and Elm. There was a Rose Records right next door to the A&P and McDonald's, and that was a big day because that was a 7-8 minute walk from where I live. So we'd go grocery shopping at the A&P, go to McDonald's, and go to Rose Records. In fact, that Rose Records on State is where I got my Wings Over America Fat Box CD on Columbia in 1985. Begged my mom to get it. My parents were on the verge of divorce, so mom said, sure, this will make up for the pain you're about to go through. So that Wings Over America CD, which sounded terrible, but it's got the little purple border on it. And then after my parents did get divorced, I went to the one that was on Broadway, just south of Belmont, on the east side of the street.
A competitor with like Reckless and all those other record stores in that kind of Belmont area.
Yeah, and it was just kind of before Reckless, yeah. And then by the time Reckless opened, Rose had become the entertainment outlet, which just carried old stock. It was like all cutouts in there, man. It was a weird fucking time. But Rose was eventually in Evanston and the South Side. So yeah, I like to think that even though people were buying records back before we were born at Woolworths and Sears and even the record department at Marshall Fields in the Loop, Rose Records is a big reason why music and rock music collecting became sustainable. That's why I think Rose Records has to make this list to represent Chicago's storied record store scene.
Yeah, man. And I shout out to the one out in the West Burbs. That's where I bought a bunch of my cassettes and compact discs and perhaps some records.
Cool.
Yeah.
Casey, were you too young for Rose Records? Do you remember it?
I don't know if I was too young. I don't remember it. Would they have had them in the north suburbs? Like I wouldn't have gone downtown to get a record. I had Musicland at the mall was where I went.
Right.
Okay.
Later, Sam Goody.
Yeah.
I feel like they weren't at the mall so much. They always kind of had their own space. Like in the Burbs, the Rose Records was part of a big strip mall, but you know, it was next to the movie theater or whatever.
And there was a huge one. I don't know if I ever went in there, but growing up, I remember driving by like Ashland and School-ish. There was a nice big one, too, on the east side of Ashland.
Yeah, you're right. It was 33-something Ashland. Yeah.
But, you know, again, the reason we don't need to go in, you know, we can do a whole episode in Chicago record stores, and we might. But, of course, you know, they eventually saw the writing on the wall. Rose Bloom died. And then Rose sold to Tower. The Wabash location became a kick-ass Tower for its last 5 or 6 years. And then you blink and bang, it's Napster and streaming and LimeWire. Record stores go away, and Rose Records was dead in the water by the late 90s, mid-90s.
And it was, man. But you know who was still kicking? Dick Biondi.
Yeah, arguably, I don't know if I will quibble. By the way, as we say in every single one of these, I have sincere issues with the way these are organized. And my biggest issue is I did not participate. So I am grateful.
As is tradition.
To Tony and Casey. I'm grateful to Tony and Casey, and I would have put a number 2 seed as a number 1 seed, but I understand the historic reasons why our number 1 seed is who he is. Dick Biondi is part responsible for the Beatles in America. Take it, Tony.
Take it, Tony. Oh, thank you. Born Richard Orlando Biondi, September 13th, 1932, he was one of the original screamers in Top 40 Radio, the first U.S. disc jockey to play the Beatles. He played Please Please Me on WLS 890 AM in February of 1963.
The Beatles and Please Me.
First person to play the Beatles in the United States, man, a year before they blew up.
And he's playing it on the VJ label. I'm pretty damn sure he's not playing a British import. VJ's down the street from where WLS is. By the way, WLS, you mentioned Sears earlier. We all know what those letters stand for, right?
World's largest store.
The Loop. Lakeshore Drive. North side, west side, south side in Chicago. It's WLS.
Sears was the original owner of the station. And then, of course, it became owned by ABC after and Cap Cities, for those of you media nerds out there. But I just wanted to say Cap Cities on a podcast, which has probably not been said. But yeah, so it's an interesting history of WLS and the significance of what a powerhouse station that certainly was at the time. And Biondi would later appear on the Hollywood Bowl album, guys.
And now, here they are,
That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, he moved to L.A., I think, in 64, 65, somewhere around there. And that's how he became one of the guys introducing the Beatles when they played the Hollywood Bowl. Of course, he came back to Chicago in 67 and was here until 72. And, you know, I have this in common with him. I've tried leaving Chicago a couple times. Both times I went west, like when I was 19, 18, actually. And then again when I was middle-aged. And I always
when you were middle-aged. No longer are you middle-aged.
Yeah.
You've aged out.
Yeah, man. But the point is, I keep coming back. And in 1983, Biondi came back to Chicago, where he you know, retired, like worked until the very end. He passed away June 26th of 2023. So he hasn't been gone very long, but his legacy remains, man.
Tony, when he came back to Chicago, for those who don't know this, he was the foundation of what was then the emerging oldies radio scene. This is the era of Big Chill, and for people in the know, more songs from the Big Chill.
I only listened to that on 8-track. Yeah.
Famously on 8-track.
Yeah.
So I really want to know how many copies it sold. But when he came back, Oldies 104.3, first called Magic 104.3.
All oldies, all the time.
Magic 104, WJMK, Chicago.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dick Biondi, and thank you for letting me join you on a very special night in my life. 30 years ago today, I started in radio here in Chicago, and the very first record I played on the air was...
Oldies 104.3 was a huge reason that post Sha-Na-Na, as the 80s were getting into gear, and it's the early mid-80s now, that oldies were able to survive and become so viable that nerds like me and Tony in the 80s and the early 90s were both listening to Oldies 104.3. I know Biondi from introducing and teaching me the Byrds and Del Shannon and, just stuff you hadn't really heard before. Biondi was essential when he came back to Chicago, and the ratings proved it.
I mean, I didn't know he had anything to do with the Beatles until, what was it? It might have been the 5th Beatle bracket. One of the brackets he was in, he went embarrassingly deep into the bracket. Perhaps a Final Four appearance at one point.
TJ, you were gunning for him to win the whole thing one of those years. And yet now you think he should be a number 2 seed.
After Lady Terry?
Sure. But I would just add that I knew Dick Biondi growing up. Like, that was the soundtrack of, my rides to and from school and my mom's, dark red Ford Aerostar minivan, Oldies 104.3.
Don't drink and drive.
Dick Biondi. That's right.
He used to always say, don't drink and drive, like every break.
He wasn't wrong.
No, he's not wrong. Yeah, he's right.
That's why I didn't do well in Wisconsin. It's the one state where you learn to drink and drive.
That's correct.
All right. Well, we've said our piece, at least our histories. Let's vote. What say you, TJ?
It's tough because Rose Records was essential for me, but Dick Biondi is one of the all-time greats, and he's canon. He's on Hollywood Bowl, a Ron Howard film.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it should be a Dick Biondi film, but, the truth is Ron Howard is an asshole. That's the truth. That's what I overheard on set. So
Dick Biondi off the top billing.
So my vote's with Biondi.
All right, Biondi has it.
It's an easy one. That is a 1 seed against a 16. That's kind of the way it's supposed to go. It's chalk.
Yeah, that's chalk.
right now, rock chalk. Here's the Jayhawks with Blue.
You brought me through, and you made me feel so blue.
All right, moving down this very same bracket, guys. It is our number 9 seed, Beatle Fest Chicago, a.k.a. the Fest for Beatles fans, Chicago style, against the 8th seeded Marty Edwards. Wow, Marty Edwards.
Hey, Tony, tell us who Marty Edwards is, for those not in Chicago, or oddly enough, Marty Edwards is part and parcel of many a fest. So let us know who she be.
That's right, TJ. It's Marty with an I. It is a she. She was the president of the Beatles fan club in Chicago. They were known as the Chicagoland Beatle People. Beatle People. Now, she was able to get over 1,000 members. Again, remember, this was before the internet.
No such thing, woke.
She has a fun story, though. So she wrote a book, and it's called 16 and 64. So she was one of the older fans, when they came stateside. And she got to meet the Fabs on their 1964 tour. They did the press conference in Chicago at the banquet room of the Stockyard Inn. And she and her friends, Linda and Jan, they hung out at the bar. And there was Derek Taylor. And Derek Taylor said, "Hey, man, what's up with you?" I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know.
No, that's a verbatim quote. That's a verbatim quote. "Hey, man, what's up with you?"
What's up with you? While doing a shot of Malort, Derek Taylor did a Chicago handshake.
And when I was up on the platform presenting with a plaque, the DJs were asking me, well, how do you feel? How do you feel meeting the Beatles? And I said, I'm numb. Well, John pinched my arm and he said, well, you feel that, don't you?
They made this plaque, and Derek was impressed with the plaque and wrote on a stationery, let these girls in. And they got in to the press conference, and there's a picture of Marty Edwards presenting this plaque to John Lennon. So good on her.
It's pretty impressive, Marty Edwards. Marty Edwards has appeared at many a fest, and Tony, our other seed. What number seed, by the way, is the Fest for Beatle fans?
Number 9.
Interesting. I find that very interesting because much like one of the more controversial but beloved by fans songs in the Beatles canon, and much like a number that meant a lot to John, I would say that Beatle Fest, which appeared in many a city, but its core cities, what it boiled down to was New York and Chicago. For many years, LA too. But Beatle Fest helped make the Beatles associated with Chicago. It was an epicenter in the Midwest of keeping the Beatles alive throughout the late 70s through, just last year. They're taking a year off to reinvent themselves. But the gift the Lapidus family gave Chicago was keeping Chicago an epicenter that media acknowledged, even up through last summer, guys, as being the Beatles fan convention in the city, or since the late 80s, mid 80s, outside of the city in Rosemont. I was going as a little kid, as you all know, when it was at the Hyatt on Wacker Drive. So I actually think Beatlefest is underrated in keeping the Beatles flame alive within the city of Chicago as a Midwest hub. It was a massive success for 5 decades.
Cue Danny Donuts.
2, 3. You know how long I've waited for this to begin. I've counted down the hours. Now we're back together again.
Yes, DJ, I always agree. It's always a great time. Terry Hemmert is our host. She's been the longtime host.
Good morning, campers.
Good morning, Terry.
I love the panels. We love the talent shows. Rockin' Robin won the talent show last year.
Yes.
Please don't wake me, no, don't shake me, leave me where I am. I'm only sleeping.
Rick Rann and all his merchandise has been there forever. One of the last surviving merchandise people at Beatlefest, the great Rick Rann.
Yeah. The great raffles that go on for weird shit.
I mean, a good half of our competing bracket this year is affiliated with. There's kind of a core conflict here that it's like Marty Edwards is a part of Beatlefest, Kid O'Toole, Terry Hemmert, Billy J. Kramer, Wally Podrazik.
Yes.
What does that tell you, for real, guys, about the influence of what Beatlefest has meant for so many years? I mean, I speak from personal experience. It certainly helped me as a kid become a diehard. It killed me, guys, to not get to go to Beatlefest because I was away at summer camp in the 80s, being a teenage boy and doing teenage boy stuff, but also thinking about, like, oh, I wonder if they have the Japan import of the Imagine soundtrack at Beatlefest this year. Just being super, that's what I was going through, popping zits and hoping for the purple Capitol label to wind up in my hands. But yeah, Beatlefest is a major driver of Beatle fandom, I think, globally.
Okay, well, I'll start with the vote. TJ, you've convinced me. This is a miraculous upset if this happens, but I'm voting for our 9 seed over the 8 seed.
Number 9.
Number nine. It's Beatlefest all the way. We love you and we salute you, Lapidus family, and Al Sussman and all the great people who make up what that fest is.
Susan Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, Susan, of course.
Our own Skylar Moody, friend of the program.
Oh, we love you, Skylar.
Now, guys, you're mentioning people that aren't from Chicago. We have to keep this Chicago, okay?
That's correct.
They don't know what real pizza tastes. They ain't never been to insert deep dish chain here.
Do you remember when you first enjoyed a taste of Gino's East? Gino's East.
But what an upset. The 9 seed beats the 8 seed. Slippers for sleepers, and if you're gonna wear slippers, make them Florsheim slippers, founded in Chicago in 1892. Florsheim slippers, making comfort work for you.
Oh, a new sponsor deal?
Well, no. I wanted to. It's a shoe company from Chicago.
What do you think of these boots?
They're nice.
No, really.
They're really nice.
They're Florsheim, you know.
I didn't know.
Moving down the bracket. Oh my, we're still on the left bracket if you're playing at home, and we're going south near the Hilton Hotel there on the fabulous 9th Beatle bracket designed by our own Casey Baker.
Casey Baker produced.
It's a number 4 seeded VJ Records against the 13th seeded American English.
Stay away from me. All right, Tony, you go first this time.
Okay. Well, VJ Records, independent Chicago record label, started by Vivian Carter and Jimmy Bracken. That's where the V and the J come from, Vivian and Jimmy. Started with $500 of borrowed money, and they made it work, man, at least for a while. Jimmy Reed.
High and lonesome. Be on your merry way.
John Lee Hooker.
I get so excited, baby. See you walking down the street.
The Staple Singers.
Swing down, sweet cherry, stop it. Let me ride. Swing down, cherry, stop it. Let me ride.
The Four Seasons.
Peanuts. 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 Yes, you're my girl. Love you and I'll never let you go.
They put out the first American Beatles LP, along with the singles, but Introducing the Beatles came out 10 days before Meet the Beatles, so they were the first company to put out a Beatles album. First company to put out a Beatles record, 7-inch, 45. And also Barbara Gardner Proctor was the one responsible, actually, for traveling overseas and bringing over some singles from, the UK. And that's how they got into the hands of VJ. That's how they got into the hands of Dick Biondi. And that's how they came to be in this country for the first time. Chicago, VJ Records.
So did VJ, did they have to, dub the record from an existing record in order to press their records? Did they get their hands on any, on a master?
Yeah, they were sent the tapes that Capitol didn't want.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it wasn't like a copy of a copy.
It wasn't bootleg. Okay.
Right. No, it was a legit release.
And some of that is huge credit to Brian Epstein, too, for figuring out whether it was Tolly, which was an offshoot of VJ that eventually put Love Me Do out, or Swan Records, which is a whole different label. I think Swan was based out of Philly.
Yeah,
Brian Epstein figured out how to make things work.
Yeah.
When Capitol said no, it's an understated part of the Brian Epstein story of bringing the Beatles to the States.
So VJ Records up against American English. Without a doubt, the world's premier Beatles tribute band. That's what Sam Leach said. He's the original promoter of the Beatles. TJ, remember we did that Bizco gig? That's a Second City corporate gig at the House of Blues. This is many years ago. And I forget who opened for who, but I think we opened for American English or something like that.
Yeah, this is 04, some weird dark time. Hey, the hanging chads and freedom fries and
weed. Freedom
and
fries.
wars in the Middle East.
And wars in the Middle East for no reason.
Yeah, they were there that night.
Yeah.
And I remember you got geeked out because they opened with If You Got Trouble.
I did, yeah.
Wait, literally? That's not a bit?
No.
It's a bit.
I feel like they did When I Get Home, though. Am I crazy?
They did, or you and I were like, I hope they do When I Get Home. It was one of those two things. Here's the thing. We are close when this airs to St. Patrick's Day, and I got two words for you haters. Frank Ifield.
I'm confessing that I love you. Tell me, do you love me too? I'm confessing that I need you. Honest, I do. Need you every moment.
Does American English ever do a tribute to Frank Ifield?
Well, not that I know of.
I don't think so. But VJ did.
Yeah, VJ Records.
Well, there you go.
Well, the whole thing was Frank Ifield was going to be the thing that hit, and the Beatles were kind of like the residue thrown in with the Frank Ifield fortune that was to, come to VJ Records. Well, hold on, though. Let me tell you a little something about American English, all right?
Please do, and God bless them, because I've got some facts for you as well.
Oh, okay. Well, they do the early years, TJ, they do the psychedelic years, and they do the final years. Now, they've performed on all the major networks, CBS, NBC, ABC, WGN, WTTW, Telemundo, and Fox. Epiphone Guitars says that they have a professional attitude and behavior. Janet Davies, TJ. You know Janet Davies.
The great Janet Davies, who every year would make out against her will with Mark Giangreco on New Year's Eve.
Mark and Janet, we're going to send it back to you.
Okay, so it's not as sweet as a proposal.
We've been together for 18
years. I'm glad you're down there because I have something for you. Stay down there. Stay down.
Really?
Yes, these are local. Janet Davies covers like entertainment in Chicago.
The best.
Yeah, they were the best New Year's Eve local correspondents. She says that American English is the best Beatles tribute band in the world. Dick Biondi says American English is the best Beatles act since the Beatles. 3 exclamation marks. They've been endorsed by guys from Toto, Survivor,
Guys from Toto. If you can't afford tickets to Toto, you'll love Guys from Toto.
Howie Casey.
It wasn't Lukather.
It wasn't. I don't think it was Lukather. Shure Microphone says, who better to represent Shure than American English? They're playing the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles, March 28th. They're playing Frankie's Blue Room in Naperville, April 18th, and April 19th. You can check them out at the Poplar Creek Public Library in Streamwood.
Tony's on the take here.
Oh my God, even worse, you sound like Terry Hammer going into a break.
Then Britbeat is playing Saturday night, 7:30 at the historic Fisher Theater, 158 North Vermilion Street in Danville, Illinois. And Liverpool Legends playing Friday. They'll do a 2:30 lunch show. And then a 7 o'clock dinner show at the Legacy Theater at 564 Wisconsin Dells Parkway South.
May 22nd through the 24th, they're going to be in Delavan, Wisconsin at the Belfry Music Theater.
Belfry's haunted, gentlemen. All right, Tony. Well, I'm gonna listen. You're putting me in the bad position of going against a good local Beatles cover band in American English,
and we do like them. We're having fun here. I want to see them, bro.
Well, let me tell you something, bro. I went to Steve Hoffman's website, and on August 11th, 2003, Ascot in Wisconsin wrote, I saw them on a lunchtime gig. The sound mix was uneven, with the George voice way too prominent. It sounded like George was singing lead on Help. I was sitting a bit toward the back, so that may have had something to do with it. Ascot in Wisconsin in 03 feels different from Terry.
Now wait, that's not on them. That's on the mixer.
That would have been around the time we saw them, yeah.
I'll never forget thinking, why is George singing Let It Be?
Speaking words of wisdom, let it go.
There are many great Beatle cover bands. My favorite, and I do love American English, I'm the biggest fan of the Fab Four, which is comprised of a lot of the late night. Yeah, I don't think Willie's doing it anymore, but it's that outfit with all those New York session players. They're coming to the Vic actually this April.
5 p.m. to 7 at the Harwood Heights and Village Fest and Carnival at St. Rosalie's.
With all due respect, have you ever heard the words El Grupo American English? No. Takes them out of the running.
Inglés Americano, but okay.
Hey, listen, I didn't get the translation. I'm going off gut here. Yeah, and look, VJ Records has some of the most influential soul and blues of that era. It's also ironic that the Beatles' lawsuits to get VJ from stopping pressing Beatles stuff is what helped kill VJ Records. So the Beatles kind of helped cause their explosion and cause their demise. VJ Records, along with Chess, is a Chicago classic. God bless you, American English. I'm Team VJ.
Well, you know what, man? I have a VJ Records t-shirt, and I don't have an American English t-shirt. I have an American English Frisbee, but I don't wear that, so I have to vote.
Do you have a VJ Records Frisbee?
Well, it's one of those discs. It's hard to read, you know? So technically, yeah, but no one can read it. It's spinning. So my vote is for VJ Records.
Yeah, there you go. See, we're with Ascot back in whatever Ascot's doing now in August of 03 when Ascot bitched on Steve Hoffman's website about the sound mix of a lunchtime gig of American English. We feel you, Ascot.
Influential. Before we say goodbye to American English, I'm genuinely curious because I actually saw American English at the Great Lake County Fair back in 2011.
Ooh.
Long before I attended my first fest for Beatles fans and saw their house band, Liverpool, who not only did great Beatles tribute work, but then served as sort of the house band and backing band for Peter Asher when we were there, or whoever, the guest artists are. So I'm curious to get your take, American English versus Liverpool.
Well, here's the thing. American English does the whole act. Like they get dressed up and they do the thing.
The costumes.
They kind of look like them. That's a thing.
They do the accents. Yep.
Yeah. I think they do the banter, I think. But so does Liverpool, though. They'll say little funny fake British accent things between songs.
Look, I'm giving American English credit, but I don't think they can handle Mickey Dolenz doing Fixing a Hole.
So perhaps Liverpool, the superior band, American English, the superior Beatles tribute.
I think they're all great. They're all great bands. As the band that played my wedding, the Fab...
TJ, your wedding band was called The Cavern Beat, and the aforementioned Patreon Star Club member Beatle Dave, a.k.a. DZ Keys, played in said band. And learned Blow Away, just for you. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Oh, and the Fab Four that does my favorite Beatles Christmas album. So the Fab Four I'm out of LA, I'm big fans of too. But American English, we salute you, we respect you. It is a tough loss, but you gotta give VJ all the credit.
Yeah, let's here. Denny Lane says of them, they're incredible. It's like virtual reality. By the end of the show, I actually felt sad. And that's how I feel right now. Goodbye, American English.
Lawrence Juber says they're like virtual insanity.
Okay. Our last matchup on the left of this.
On the south side.
Yeah. Now we're in the lake of the south side. 12th seeded Kit O'Toole against 5th seeded Chess Records. Wow, record labels against a person.
This one made me drink.
This one made me drink. Well, as mentioned, Kit O'Toole, music historian, educator, author. She lives in Chicago, the Chicagoland area, so we see her every year at the Fest for Beatles fans. Songs We Were Singing, guided tours through the Beatles' lesser-known tracks. That's the book she wrote, and she's appeared on a bunch of Beatles podcasts, including Things We Said Today, You Can Talk to Me, Toppermost of the Poppermost, and Talk More Talk.
And next week, the Untitled Beatles podcast. Kit, we'll see you next week, friend.
Yeah, call us Kit.
Give us a ring. Chess Records, 2120 South Michigan Avenue. That's their most famous address. It's still there. You can go and visit it and, be in the room where all these records were recorded by Howlin' Wolf.
Come on out, baby, let me tell you what I've got now. Come on out, baby, let me tell you what I've got now. I got the house like a boogie, everybody's on the ball.
Bo Diddley.
I got a baby that's all so pretty. I found her right here in the Windy City.
Willie Dixon, Chuck Berry.
Casey is an old man who wants to be a teen. He goes to all the dances and they call him Cha-Cha King. He cha-chas when the band is playing rock and roll. He tries to keep in time, but the beat leaves him cold. He calls me too cool to pop, too old to scold.
Muddy Waters Buddy Guide, to name a few. The Beatles played and/or recorded a bunch of songs on Chess Records, most notably the Chuck Berry songs, Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, Sweet Little 16, Little Queenie, there's a bunch more. Chuck Berry's the Mark Twain of rock and roll. TJ, he's the godfather, you would say, right?
Yeah, he is the inventor of rock and roll. That's something I learned from Dr. Johnny Fever on WKRP in Cincinnati, and falling in love with the Beatles at the same time. It's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of love.
Whenever you are reeling with that disconnected feeling, in a mood that defies all description, give yourself a break. Take what I take. Demand the doctor's patented prescription. Simply say,
just let me hear some of that rock and roll.
Clearly, everything springs from this person. And, you know, as we've talked about on several episodes, including one dedicated to this topic several years ago, the Beatles wore on their sleeves, we love black music. We love these specific black artists. We love these obscure black songs, the Arthur Alexander stuff.
Right, the Kookies.
Yeah, the Kookies. The Beatles were able to, in some respects, a little different than the Stones. Not that the Stones didn't love and acknowledge or love. You know, they recorded at Chess, which we'll get to. But the Beatles really helped break a bit of a color barrier, being these English guys saying it's just music and it's the music that we love. I mean, it's really important.
Also Elvis, but yeah.
Was Elvis as overt about crediting and acknowledging black music in real time? I'm not trying to start shit. I'm genuinely curious.
I don't know.
The Beatles were.
Right. But when Elvis came out, people thought he was black, and that was a thing. Like, is he? Isn't he? You know, no one knew what he looked like when he first came out. And he was singing the music that he liked, which was a combination of gospel and R&B and the blues and, you know, what was becoming rock and roll.
In our era, when you and I were listening to like top 40 in the late 80s, the controversy at the time, before your time, Casey, a lot of people thought Elvis Costello was black.
All right. Kit O'Toole versus Chess Records. I mean, it's kind of an unfair fight. Let's hear it.
I can help here. Kit, as we know, is not only a doctor of music, I've been reading Kit O'Toole's articles and writings in Beatle Fan forever.
Right.
Kit is notable for many things, most famously, She the Car on Knight Rider.
Well, that's with two T's. That's a different Kit, TJ. I'm sorry.
I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference, a kit if you prefer.
No, I don't prefer, and what's more, I don't intend to drive around in a car that talks back to me.
Kit, we love you, but this one isn't fair. Kit's a great writer. And Kit is also one of the smartest musicologists I have ever, God is my witness, I have ever read. She knows more than I could hope to know, but this isn't fair because of what Chess Records is, Tony.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry. It's just the history. That's all. So Chess Records.
And we're arguing just to put a little bow on all these dumb bits here. There's no Beatles without Chess Records or without what Chess Records did to distribute the sound of black music to the Beatles, A-sides, B-sides, random tracks, hits. Who recorded for Chess Records was right up the Beatles' alley of, this is new, this is soulful, this resonates with us, it's music we love, and we want to not just love it, but we want to reinterpret it. That's the reason Chess is such a gimme for this, and based in Chicago.
Come on! Baby, don't you want to go? Hey, come on! Baby! Don't you want to go back to the same old place? Sweet home, Chicago.
And this concludes Side A of our 9th Beatle Bracket, the South Side. Next week, we hop the red line up to the north side of the bracket. Speaking of which, if you'd like to download your own Beatle Bracket to play along, did we mention it's on our website? UntitledBeatlesPodcast.com/bracket. So go make sure your Venture card is full, and meet us back here next Saturday to pick up with our riveting 2 versus 15 matchup.
Untitled Beatles Podcast. Like and subscribe.